right, so we got everybody in. Sorry about the technical difficulties we were having. All right, so if everybody can hear me, thank you for being here. My name is Stephen Onwenu, and I go by the name Credit King Steve out of Nashville, Tennessee. I help people with credit, everything from getting derogatories, inquiries, late payments, bankruptcies. And welcome tonight to the Wealth Connect. The Wealth Connect is a team of friends in different industries that help people with everything financial from taxes to marketing to business credit um, and real estate. And so we just love to help people when it comes to anything financial. And also, we started to see that when it comes to finances, a lot of people are limited in financial literacy. And so we're just here to give you some good tips, give you some information that you can implement, and some real time information that you can apply. Thanks, Carolyn, for being here. Travis, Tamika. Can everybody hear me clearly?
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay. Good, good, good. And so I am pulling up the presentation. Everyone is able to see the screen clearly.
Nah, you're not sharing.
I'm not sharing. Okay. All right. Let's share. All right. Share screen. Share. All right. Select the tab. What about now? Still not okay. Let's try share screen. Still not able to see my screen. All right, share screen. Let's try. Still not able to see it. What is going on with the share screen? All right, let's see. Present. All right, let's see if I can pull it up another way. Google Chrome. All right, let's see. What about, are we able to see it now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let me enlarge it. How about now? Are y'all able to see the screen clear? Because it is.
That's good.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Sorry about that, you all. So we're going to go ahead and get started. This is the Wealth Connect. My name is Stephen Onwenu, and we have a team of gurus in different areas from taxes to business credit to marketing and real estate. And one of the biggest things that is important when it comes to the foundation, of course, is credit. So if you can see everything clearly, look at my screen. Um, and welcome again to the Wealth Connect. My name is Stephen Onwenu, president of Onwenu Financial Services, Inc. I am a former IRS agent, worked for the IRS for over 10 years here in Nashville, Tennessee, helping people with finances. Also, I ran a commercial cleaning business. And upon having the business, I used to have employees, and they would always need help when it came to finances and when it came to credit, when it came to taxes. So, after so long with continuing to help people, I decided to go ahead and make a business out of it. I service clients across the United States of America, helping them to get derogatories, inquiries, late payments, bankruptcies, and the list goes on. One of the most important things, especially when it comes to finances, is making sure that you have everything in order. Also, making sure that you have the correct information, and then making sure that the information that is on your credit profile is even actually yours. So, in this presentation, you will learn introduction to credit, how credit reporting works, the 5 factors that determine credit scores, how credit reporting works, learn the different credit bureaus, the impact of your credit score. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to drop those questions in the chat, and we'll definitely get those answered for you. So, the first question: what is credit? Credit is the ability to obtain goods or services before making the full payment based on the trust payments will be made in the future. So, when it comes to credit, we want to make sure that instead of just using that good old cash that we've been using, instead of using that good debit card that we've been using, we want to exchange those for trade lines. And so it's always good for everybody to have a bank relationship. It's always good to look at your credit profile to see what's reporting to your credit profile. And I always recommend people to use a good credit monitoring, not just Credit Karma or some of the other free companies out there. And a lot of people use Credit Karma, but Credit Karma doesn't actually give you all of your scores, and it doesn't give you a tri-merge report. And so we want to use a good, well-known credit monitoring, something like an Identity IQ, My Score IQ, and My FICO, which is another good company to use. Now, credit scores are used to determine your risk factor for future loans. When you are looking to patronize or do business with a company, The only thing that they have other than the information that you give them is that credit profile. And that credit profile tells a lot about you. That credit profile tells if you've been paying bills on time. That credit profile also tells where you have stayed. That credit profile tells if you've had different names, different employers. So it's pretty much like a report card, as well as it's your document of information that that financial institution or company have, that they can decide if they want to do business with you or not. And so we always want to make sure that that credit profile is clear. We want to make sure that the information matches. And we want to make sure that we don't have a thin credit profile, but we have a healthy credit profile. A higher credit score can help improve the terms and conditions and the quality of your life and the access that you have when it comes to funding. Now, I have a pie chart, or I have a chart, and this chart has different scores on there, and everybody falls into a different scoring model. We have the 360 to 580, 580 to 640, 640 to 700, 700 to 750, and then we have 750 to 850. Now, everybody talks about the big three credit bureaus: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Those are not the only credit bureaus or reporting agencies out here. There are many more. And so, one of the best things you can do is to make sure that you're looking and continuously checking your credit profile. Also, you don't want to just look at the only three credit bureaus, excuse me, but you want to look at the other reporting agencies that are out there. There's over 30 other reporting agencies and credit bureaus out there outside of the big three. And so, one of the good things about my company is that when we clean up a person's credit profile, we're making sure that we clean it up with all of the credit bureaus and reporting agencies, not just the big three. A personal credit score can range anywhere from 300 to 850. A good credit score is 700 and above. And it does take work, and it does take some sweat equity with making sure that you can get to that high score, but it is a possibility, and it is something capable that you can do. Never feel like because you made a mistake or you had a situation that happened in the past that you can't reach that good credit score. It just takes work, dedication, and some knowledge, and also having a healthy credit profile, meaning having multiple trade lines reporting to that credit profile, making sure that they report on time. Also, making sure that you're not closing out any cards. Now, if you look at this pie chart, credit scores are determined by five factors. New credit makes up 10%. Types of credit used makes up 10%. Amount owed makes up 30%. Payment history makes up 35%. And credit history makes up 15%. The biggest percentages on here are amount owed and payment history. They total up to 65% of your credit profile. So, for everybody, you want to make sure that you're paying your bills on time. You also want to make sure that you're keeping your debt to income ratio down. At the end of the day, you are going to need your credit for multiple things. And so you need your credit to purchase a home. You may need your credit to get an apartment. You'll need your credit if you're trying to get financing. You'll need your credit if you're trying to get life insurance. So there's multiple things that you will need your credit for, and the list goes on. We want to make sure that our credit profile is up to par. We also want to make sure there's not a lot of inquiries, derogatories on the credit profile. Financial institutions look at that credit profile and they look to see who you do business with. They're also looking to see if you were denied by anyone as well. And so that is a indicator to them that, hey, if this company denied them, then maybe we're not going to do business with them as well. So looking at this pie chart, we want to add positive trade lines to our credit profile. And a trade line can be a credit card. A trade line can be um, a a bank loan. A trade line can be a credit line that you have from a bank. So we always want to make sure that we're adding positive trade lines. We're paying our bills on time. And with adding new credit, let's say you go and you add a credit builder to your account. With adding new credit, you're going to hit the 10% of new credit. You're going to hit the type of credit used. Also, we'll have length of credit history. So we want to make sure that we're not just closing out any cards, because if you close out a card, it can hurt your credit profile anywhere from 50 to 100 points, meaning that your credit scores can drop. So we never want to just close out a credit card. It hurts us when it comes to length of history. It also hurts us when it comes to types of credit and then new credit. So always make sure we're adding trade lines and positive trade lines. If you have a family member or friend that has A1 credit, you can ask them for an authorized user. Now, if you do ask for that authorized user, you want to make sure that it is from somebody that pays their bills on time. You don't want to ask for an authorized user from someone that is not paying their bill on time, but make sure that they're paying their bills on time. Also, let them know that they will get a additional card once they add you as a trade line. And you can always let them know that, hey, you don't need the card, you just need the authorized user. And that can help your credit profile anywhere from 10 to 20 or 30 points. We want to make sure that we're helping our friends and family members that are struggling with credit. That one authorized user can boost their scores up 20 to 30 points or even more. Now, how credit reporting works. Consumers, there's three entities that make up, let me just a moment. The credit reporting system, consumers, credit bureaus, financial companies. And so use a good credit monitoring when looking at your credit profile. I tell people to use a good credit monitoring that use FICO scores, not Vantage scores. When you're using Credit Karma uses Vantage scores, and nobody is ever going to use a Vantage score when you go to get a car, when you go to get a house. They're going to look at the FICO scores. If you have a chance to speak with Travis Cole, our brother that's in real estate, you're never going to use a Vantage score when looking at your credit profile. Most of the times, he's going to be looking at your FICO score. So I try to educate people and tell people it's better to go ahead and have a good credit monitoring that use FICO scores. Also, is going to help you to secure your credit profile. So the three entities that make up the credit reporting system: consumers, person or corporation purchases goods and services for personal or business purposes. Credit bureaus, information about your credit card, loan accounts, credit inquiries is reported electronically through TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, and by lenders and creditors about every 30 days. So if you've ever moved anywhere in the last 10 to 20 years, there's a good chance that those addresses may be reporting to your credit profile. So we want to make sure that everything matches, everything is the same. Your name needs to be spelled exactly the same way that it is spelled on your ID. Know the credit bureaus and the reporting bureaus. When creditors and lenders check your credit, they're very likely to do so with one of the major credit reporting agencies: TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. These three agencies retain information on more than 200 million Americans. So when it comes to pulling your credit, uh, and trade lines reporting to your credit profile, all trade lines are not created the same. Once again, all trade lines are not created the same. Most banking institutions, they do report to all three credit bureaus. Not everybody reports to all three, but most of the banks, they report to all three credit bureaus. But some trade lines only report to TransUnion. Some either only report to Equifax. Some report to two. So that's a good question that I would say to ask the company. Hey, where do you pull from? What credit bureaus do you report to? Because if you ever looked at a credit profile and you see that the scores are different, the scores are different for a reason. And that reason is because not all trade lines report to all three credit bureaus. So that's just something that you do want to keep in mind. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to hand things over to Rodney. But before I do that, I want you to make sure that you check us out, make sure that you're following us. Of course, if you need any help when it comes to your credit profile, make sure that you get in contact with me. That way we can get a consultation set up. Also, we want you to look into the membership to be able to um, do business with us and everybody that's included in the Wealth Connect, to be able to be on these presentations and webinars that we have going on. We are doing a discounted rate for the first 50 people of $97 a month if you want to join the membership. And so I think it's something good to have a good team of people in different areas that can help you, whether it's business credit, whether it's credit, whether it's real estate, whether it's marketing, whether it's taxes. And it's good to have a team of good professionals that can do the work, get the work done, and people that have been in the industries for a while. And so, um, if you have any questions, make sure to drop those questions in the chat. Make sure that you get in contact with me or anyone in the team. And also make sure that you set your calendar for the 29th. If you are a member, you will be included in that presentation and webinar that's going to be on the 29th of this month. And we're going to continue to teach you and deep dive into credit. Now, this is just an introduction, but we will go further. We will give you tips on how to optimize your credit. We'll give you tips on how to stack your credit. We'll give you tips on banks that offer different funding, and the list goes on. So make sure that you continue to follow us. Make sure that you check us out because there will be a lot more things in store. And so I am going to hand things over. Let me stop the screen share. I'm going to hand it over to Rodney if he's available, and then we'll keep it going from there. So once again, this is Stephen Onwenu, Credit King Steve, and this is the Wealth Connect, and I'm gonna hand things over to Rodney. Rodney, if you're available.
Yeah, I'm trying to see how I can. I don't know if I can share screens.
When you press that present button, and then it's a share screen. Now, I was trying to share my screen, but I had to go and pull up the presentation under um, the Chrome instead of my Safari.
Y- Yeah, I think. Let's see. Yeah, I think because you're the host, the creator of it, you're the only one that can share. Let me do this. You can pull up. I'm gonna send this to you, and you can pull it up for me.
Okay.
Share it.
Okay.
And I'll just go. I'll just cover the first few aspects of it, and we'll save the second half.
Okay. No
I
problem.
just texted it to you.
All right. Just a moment. Okay, try it again to see if you can pull it up, Rod. Let's see, and I'm pulling it up. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't. Let's see.
I'm pulling it up also too.
Yeah, I just sent you a screenshot. That's what we see on our end.
Okay. All right. Let me- All right.
Letting you share it.
It said it can't be accessed. Your file can be accessed. Let's see. Let me make sure I copied it correctly.
Yes.
All right. Let me try. All right, bam. Email it to me, Rod. Because I think I may be.
Say that again.
Email it to me. I did get it to text, but I think I may be trying to copy and paste not copy it correctly.
Hey, Rodney, what happens when you hit the present screen at the bottom?
Okay. Open. Okay. Let's see. Open.
I just sent you what it shows on my end.
Okay, I got it up. Let's see. All right now I'm about to get pull it up. Let's see. Start cam, present, share screen. Let me know if everybody can see it.
No, it's not sharing.
Okay. Let's try this again. Present, share screen, window, share, share. Still not sharing. All right, let's try this. Um, Still not sharing.
Nah.
Let me copy this and let me bring it here by the StreamYard link. See if that'll. Let me take mine down. All right, it said Chrome has lost permission to capture your screen. To fix it, go to System Preference, unlock the screen by selecting the lock, bottom left. Always allow. All right. This is crazy. It's still not letting me pull it up for whatever. I got it up. It's just when it go to the share part. See if
If not, I'll just go over a few things.
that's cool. Let's see. Okay, I think we is pulling it up. I pulled it up through another way through the StreamYard. It says processing. I put it up there as a slide. Do you see it right at the bottom of the screen or not?
Nah, there's nothing on screen. Oh, there it is. It just pulled up.
Okay.
All right. Yep. Just skip to the next one. Skip one more time. All right. So yeah. So welcome everyone. I'm going to be covering a little bit about business credit. Just giving you guys the starting basics of it and why it's important. Some of the things you guys should know. Skip to the next one for me. All right, and then we'll go through a few of the steps of building business credit as well. Skip to the next. All right, so building business credit, there are over 20 credibility points that are necessary for building business credit to have a strong, credible foundation, right? And a lot of times people forget or they don't even know that the perception vendors, creditors have of your business is critical to your ability to build strong business credit. Because if they don't trust you can pay them back, they won't lend to you or give you access to any lines of credit. So before applying for business credit, you must ensure that it meets or exceeds all of their standards, all of their credibility standards. All right, next slide. All right, so this is just something that you guys can screenshot. This is what Congress calls a person, just words that denotes, number, gender, and so forth. And I'll let you guys kind of screenshot that or read through that. But you can go to the next slide. Some stuff in here. We're gonna start with the basics though. We ain't gonna get into all that. So some of the basics: business name. It's very important that you use your exact business legal name, right? And there'll be some links here. I'll be able to share this slideshow with you guys where you can access these links. But you want to check your business name and make sure it's available. Don't immediately go to the irs.gov and just order your business name, not knowing if it's actually available. Right. So ensure your business name is exactly the same as what's on your corporation papers, licensing, and bank statements. Right. So you can ensure as well that it's not on the restricted list. And what that means is you don't want to go into high limit, you don't want to get into high risk industries like like trucking or financial services, a lot of things, trading, a lot of these things, the market's very volatile. So you don't want a business that says, you have a trading business or something like that. And as we know, trucking industry can be high risk. So those are some things that would be put on the restricted list and automatically get you denied for funding unless you have an aged LLC and you can show that that business has been making tons of money. Then you're not looked at as high risk, and it's okay for you to create that type of business or enhance your LLC to get funding for something that's already credible, that's making a ton of money, right? So definitely make sure that before you go to irs.gov, you check that the name is available. Make sure that you go to the Secretary of State, put that name in. It's going to ask you for other optional names in case that name is taken. And then you want the state to come back and say, okay, here's your paperwork and documentation for being registered with the Secretary of State. Once you get that confirmation, then you go to irs.gov and order your EIN. Next slide. All right. So you also want to make sure you have a business address, brick and mortar. Brick and mortar is always ideal. You don't want to do a PO box or somewhere where they can't actually Google and see. It needs to be a deliverable physical address. Should not be home address if possible. Cannot be a PO box or a UPS address, right? Solutions addresses only. You can receive mail and packages at your dedicated address. You want a virtual office. You can use a virtual office, so it needs to be professional address, dedicated phone, fax numbers, receptionist services if possible. And there are a lot of virtual office companies. One is Opus, but what I recommend before you go to Opus is check into co-working spaces that are in your local area. Co-working spaces are places where people can take their laptops, they can go in there, and they have a lot of individual desks, a lot of individual cubicles, and it's just everybody can go in there and just co-work and have their own space to work in. A lot of times these places have mailboxes that you can actually purchase for your virtual address, and they're half the price of some of these companies that are out there. So look into co-working spaces for virtual address. There, a lot of times they're anywhere from 40 to 60 bucks a month. Next slide. All right. So make sure your business is findable, and that equals fundable, right? You want to make sure if you walk into that bank, if they were to search you, if they were to Google you, they were to look up, your business address, they want to look up your phone number, that it comes to you. They want to make sure that that business is legit and it can be found, right? The right business address can keep you safe. So just remember that findable equals fundable. Next slide. All right. Also, business phone number. Lenders perceive 1-800 numbers or toll-free numbers as a sign of a credible business, right? Because you have that type of phone number, it's always good. Even if you're a single owner with a home-based business, a toll-free number provides a perception that you are even an even bigger company. It's incredibly easy and inexpensive to set up a virtual local phone call number or toll-free number. And on the right, there's just some of the options that you can look at as far as getting a toll-free number. Next slide. Website. You definitely want to look into having a website, a landing page for your business. Because like I said, they want to see that application filled out with every line filled in. And that's including you having a website for your business. It tells them all about you. It tells them about the business. It tells them, how you operate, and they can just read up about some of your services and everything. So it just makes you more credible. And this is a site here that you can go and get a website from. Next slide. All right. So email address. You want your email address to be, info@yourcompanyname.com. If at all possible, don't use a Yahoo, don't use a Gmail. Make it look legit, right? It's important to get a company email address for any LLC that you have. It's not professional, but greatly helps your chances of getting approved when you have the proper business email address. All right, next slide. All right, this is something you can do to make it easy to get yourself found everywhere. You can, take the time to verify the main agencies, state, IRS, have a bank account or 411 directory. You can go to listyourself.net and they'll put you on all the different sites that are out there. Google, Bing, Yahoo, so you're easily found. Next slide. All right, entity structure. Whether you have employees or not, your business entity must have a federal tax ID number. That's the EIN. Just like you have a social security number, your business has an EIN. Your tax ID number is used to open your bank account and build your business credit profile. Right, take the time to verify that all agency banks and trade credit vendors have businesses listed with the same tax ID number. Next slide. All right. On your bank account, your business banking history is vital to your future success, being able to secure larger business loans. So the longer your business has banking history with a particular bank, the better your borrowing potential will be. So credit unions are the best banks for new companies. They are normally privately owned. They're not ran by a big corporation that abides by certain laws and guidelines and rules. So credit unions have more say so in their approval methods, right? To open your business account, you'll need your LLC documents, EIN, normally 2 forms of ID, and an operating agreement. Next slide. All right, where do they pull from? Knowing where the credit agencies and financial institutions pull from can maximize how much capital a company can raise for itself. Credit Boards is a website. It's a great website to find where these lenders pull from. And this is a company website where customers that apply for funding and they update the community of their findings to the public. Info that can be found on this website is where the inquiry may appear, credit limits, and full name of lending institution. So if you know that you have a strong Experian profile, then you can find those banks that just pull from Experian and go after those lines of credit for your business. So just remember that that's going to be key to getting funding for your business. Next slide. All right, and there's 3 tiers of lending. There are 3 main levels of lending institutions. You have credit unions. They're, like I said, they're member-owned financial cooperative, democratically controlled by its members and operated for the purposes of maximizing the economic benefit of its members. Right. Then you have regional banks, financial institutions, which is larger than a community bank, which operates below the state level but smaller than national banks. And as we know, national banks is a commercial bank chartered by the U.S. Treasury. This institution will function as a member bank of the Federal Reserve. And those are your big banks like Bank of America, Chase, Capital One, Wells Fargo, those type of banks. Next slide. All right, bank rating. Your business bank account reflects the strength of your company's revenue and how you manage its cash flow. Lenders want to know that your business cash flow is capable of handling business debt and expenses on a consistent basis, right? So bank accounts with low average daily balances and that have, that's how many NSFs, return checks, can your business loan application can be declined, can get that business loan application declined. So if you look over here to your right, that's your bank rating and account balances. So normally, the lower your balances, the lower your chances of getting that approval. The more you run through that bank account, the more that, the more you'll have, higher your chances of getting that approval. So we'll go through one more slide and then we'll stop there. I don't want to overwhelm you guys with too much of this, but it's so much to go into when we're talking about business credit. So a lot of you guys have heard of this. You got Paydex Score, you have NAV, Experian Business Credit, Dun and Bradstreet, Equifax Business Credit. These are a lot of the places where you can actually find your business credit scores, and you can build your business credit profile. They have a lot of great information on these sites, and the information will actually help you and making your business credible, building more business credit, to give you access to many lines of credit. So yeah, so we'll stop there. There's a lot of great information that you guys will be able to tap into inside this membership portal. Definitely keep coming back every time we have these calls, because there's a lot more gems, a lot more value for us to drop personal credit, and definitely on the business credit side as well. So yeah, we can stop there, Steve. Man, I definitely appreciate it.
Awesome, awesome. All right. So just remove that, and then Tamika, you can go ahead and Tam, you ready? Either one.
It doesn't matter to me. I can go or Tamika can go.
Oh,
I'm perfectly
okay.
fine with waiting.
Come on. We can go ahead and get started with you.
Okay. I was not as professional as you guys were. I did not do a actual presentation or what have you.
It's
Uh,
all
Probably because I'm so new to this, and this is not something that I generally do unless I do a PowerPoint for the classes that I teach. Well, first off, let me start off by saying my name is Tamara Collins, Tamara Frazier Collins, because most people still know me by Tamara Frazier. Recently got married, so that kind of changed things. Um, I'm a mother of three, and a few bonus children came along with the marriage also. Now, I've been in the tax business for over 25 years. I worked for the IRS first and then started my own thing. So I've been doing my own thing for about 13, a little over 13 years now. Um, and I have learned a lot, met a lot of people. Some have come left because they, wanted to get the helicopter money. And then when the helicopter money didn't quite work out, then, they came on back to the professional because you can always run to the fly by night tax offices and they can definitely get you some helicopter money probably, if it goes through, especially if you're at the beginning of the tax season where they're doing everything and it's a new scam every year. So, until they catch up with it, then you may slip through the cracks and you may get it the money then, but guaranteed it's gonna come back to bite you because they're gonna come back and want their money back on the end. So yeah, it's cool to go to the fly by night places, those places that you can't find after sometimes after March 15th, let alone after April 15th. You can't find anybody in the office to help you if you were to get a notice from the IRS or if you had questions about your tax return as to why it's taking more than 21 days, which is what the IRS said it would take, and you have not gotten your refund yet. Most of the time, those companies are not able to help you, but you need to find you a more reputable company that has been around a while. And I tell everybody, this is how I feed my children, and they like to eat. So I don't do a whole lot of there. I'm honest. I'm not going to do anything that's going to get you audited because if you get audited, I'm going to help you with the audit. And that's one of the advantages of working with me is because, like I said, I've been in this game a long time and I work for the IRS. I know what, should go and what shouldn't go, what is right and what's not right, and what's going to come back to bite you eventually. It may not catch you the first year, but they got 7 years to come back and audit you. They also have 10 years to collect their money. So, um, and on the flip side of that, you only have 3 years to get yours. So if you don't file a return within 3 years, any refund that you would do, you're not gonna get it after that 3 year mark. So um they are definitely wanting to get their money more so than they're wanting to give you yours. So it's imperative that you want to halfway stay right. You want to stay right when it comes to it because you don't really. It's just not. It's not worth it to to be in a situation with them where you're being audited or you're having to explain, or they're coming back to say, hey, show us where you wrote off these deductions and what are these deductions for and things like that. So I am an office that stays open year round. People find it hard to believe when I tell them I'm getting up going to work and it's November 1st. Yeah, because taxes are still going on. So you have people who have not filed and who are late filing or are scared to file and things of that nature. So I am a year-round tax office. My number works. I've had the same number for my daughter's 16. So I've had the same number for over 16 years. And it has not changed. Everybody knows how to find Miss Tammy. I do federal, state, and local taxes for a lot of different states. Um, I even do things for California, Ohio, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Arkansas. I have a lot of clients on a lot of different places and things like that. And I also do the business and personal taxes for those states also. So not only am I able to prepare your personal taxes, I'm able to prepare your business taxes, whether you're an LLC or you're a partnership or you've actually decided to incorporate. Any of those would I am able to prepare that tax return for you. I also process payroll in my office. So I have a few companies that I make sure that their employees get paid. I process their payroll every week, keep up with it, file the necessary forms that the IRS requires on a yearly or quarterly basis, depending upon the amount of payroll they have and things of that nature. So we're an all around office. We can, we actually go out and we do seminars to new companies and companies that have contract employees. Well, contractors, let me say that because they really are not supposed to be employees, but contractors, so that a contractor has an understanding of what their financial and tax obligation is. When you're a contractor, you don't get any taxes taken out of your check. And that can cause a big issue when it gets to the end of the year because you've not paid any federal taxes in. And understand that on most occasions, if you don't put anything in, you don't get anything out. And that's probably one of the hardest lessons to learn when you open up a business or when you start working for yourself, is that you have this income flow coming in and it looks real good and it feels real good when no taxes are coming out. But when you get to the end of the year and you're having to report this money, then it kind of hurts. So I go over things like making estimated tax payments to try to keep you on track with the IRS so that you don't get behind. The worst thing is to get behind in your taxes, whether it be state or federal, because once you get behind, it's really hard to get back ahead and to get out of it. There are programs for people who owe for years and now don't have that type of income and they're not able to pay those tax bills. There is a program for that. I do help with that. It's called an offering compromise. I am able to assist with that. I do a myriad of things in my office. I advise on like your tax obligation as far as if you were to buy a home or if you wanted to cash in your stocks or if you wanted to put more money, into your stocks. So those are some of the things that we cover in our office. Um, Coming to this program and learning how to navigate these things like your business credit and your taxes and how to market new businesses and things of that nature are definitely one of the best things that you could do as far as getting your business on the right track and staying on track and trying to move forward. So definitely you would want to involve yourself with this and get into the excuse me, what am I looking for? Get into the program so that it can be of assistance to you. I don't normally promise my clients that they will not owe, but what I will promise them is that I promise they will owe the lowest that they can. There, when you get into business, you're making hundreds of. I deal with people who make hundreds of thousands of dollars, and there are some expenses that go along with that. However, if your expenses are not where you think they should be, or let me just say the tax that you wanted to pay wasn't what you expected, I'm going to make sure that we go through everything that you spent, everything that has to do with the business that you've done, and make sure that it is all accounted for so that you can get the best tax break ever. I don't like having to send Uncle Sam a check. So I don't want my people to have to send them a check. And if you got to send one, we're going to try to make it sure it's a small one and not a large one. Definitely. That's it, Steve.
Awesome, awesome. We greatly appreciate you. Let's go to Tamika next.
Okay, let me get ready. Okay. Uh, Can everyone see that?
Perfect. Yep.
Good evening. Sorry for the hiccups. Most of them are my fault. um, okay, this evening I'm gonna do a quick overview of what is considered to be the foundation of successful marketing. Marketing is the activity involved that leads to promoting, selling, and distributing your products. And it is important to know the actions that you plan to take to draw in customers and also what it takes to maintain a relationship with them. So, again, my name is Tamika Jones, and I am the creative director and founder of Big Sis Media. And I do marketing and branding, so I thought I'd do something different and just tell you a little bit about myself before we dive into those marketing strategies. So my creative background began when I was a kid. I got it from my father, who graduated with a degree from the Art Institute of Atlanta. And I remember is when I was little, I remember playing, with his markers and paints and stuff. And and then around like my early teenage years, you know, he purchased a computer and told me, you're going to college and you're going to study computers because it's the future now. And you mind you, this was the 80s before the internet. And so I was like, computers, but I want to be an artist like you. So, but anyway, it was, in the early gaming days of Atari and Nintendo and likes. I did eventually fall in love with the concept of computer games because it combined art and computers, the graphics. So my dad was right. It was the best of both worlds, for me. So, um, fast forward past, college dropout years and after my military career and government jobs. When we fast forward past that, I say about 11 years ago, I had a serious health situation that left me in critical condition, but I made it through, and it made me realize that I needed to get on my grind and set out to focus on the purpose that I knew God intended for me. So I started a t-shirt business in 2014 that had, slight success, but it did at least teach me how to start a small business with things like LLCs and, basic one-on-one business stuff. So in in 2016, while I was trying to build my t-shirt business, I started helping my little brother with his podcasting and music. So, you know, he needed someone to help create his graphics and website, edit his videos. And because I had grown my skills with the t-shirt business, I took the skills and created Big Sis Media because that was my little brother. So that's where that comes from. So with that first t-shirt business, I did, love with my first t-shirt business, I love creating the t-shirts as a product for myself to sell. But I realized that I had more fun helping other people support their goals, visually bringing their ideas to life. So Big Sis Media is a creative marketing agency that specializes in crafting attention grabbing marketing materials and digital media. Uh, We blend creativity and strategy to deliver impactful services in the form of printed media, uh, websites, branding, and video, and many other products that engage with engaging visuals and innovative content that captivates large audiences. Now, the purpose of the products and services that we deliver to a client is to fulfill the 4 P's of marketing. And those 4 P's are product, price, place, and promotion. So let's start with the product. A product can be anything that someone offers consumers to satisfy a need. And that need of the product could be with a physical or emotional need. And you also need to ask, how does your product stand out from competitors? So if you would, even if you would apply that to an example such as a stand-up comedian, they have a product. Who they each have their own in their own way. They provide a product of comedy, and it fulfills an emotional need. The next P is price, which is how you charge for your product or service. And there are 4 ways to determine the pricing. The first is cost plus pricing, which is when you add a markup to your cost that you determine is appropriate. That's done in retail, like wholesale prices, and then they mark them up once they get into the stores. Next is competitive pricing, which involves basing your prices on those of your competitors. So, for example, like Thanksgiving is coming up, and the shoppers are going to be comparing the lowest prices for their holiday meals. That's when you get the coupons from you looking for Publix, or the grocery stores are competing for the lowest prices. Then you have value-based pricing, which is basing your price on what your target client is willing to spend. Right? For example, Spirit Airlines is an example of that, as they know many consumers will purchase tickets at their lower prices. And finally, there is penetration pricing, which involves entering the market with low prices and subsequently raising them later, like the how the Netflix and the streaming platforms go up all the time, but they kind of start out cheap. They start out like at what, $4.99, $5.99, and they just kind of go up. So that's price. The next P is place, which means location, location, collocation. And this is where you put products and services in the right place in the right time. The goal is to make the product or service accessible and to provide the customer with a great experience. The final P is promotions, which is how you will let the world know your product or service exists. You do this by bringing awareness and ultimately sales to your business. Promotions include all of the marketing and communication to show the benefits of your product or service. And this is what we do. We provide the marketing and different type of services for your products. We do. So Big Sis Media does website, graphic design, video, digital marketing. We also provide software products in the form of an e-commerce platform. HostButter is a hosting platform. We're getting ready to put out a DIY website builder called SwiftSite Pro and sell some software on DigiSuite for customer reputation and different other workflows. And if you are happen to be in the Atlanta area, Big Sis Media also has a on-site studio for services such as photography, video, and podcast. We at our agency possess the ability to deeply understand client goals and target audiences by allowing them to develop well-informed strategic marketing plans that align with overall business objectives. We are known for our creativity and innovative approaches. We stay ahead of trends, experiment with new ideas, and deliver fresh, engaging content to capture and maintain audience attention. And main thing is we nurture our clients and take care of their business needs like a big sis would, because that's just in my nature. We have reviews, and if anybody wants to reach me, that's the information. I meant to put the social media up here, but we on all platforms at Big Sis Media. And coming up in future sessions, I'll be breaking down different other marketing principles and things that we can apply to your business. Thank you.
Let's get Travis. Let's see what Travis said. All right. And let's see. All right, I see Travis call, but no, we can't hear you. I see your screen, but we can't hear you. I see your screen, Travis, but make sure you got your mic in. Anybody hear Travis? Oh, yeah. Okay. Now, Travis, what you can do, um, if you have a additional device, or if you have, I was gonna say, if you got a device and come in Clubhouse, um, you could talk about it from there. And I got my phone with Clubhouse up, and we can hear you from there. I don't know what's going on with the mic, or you can keep troubleshooting. That's fine. All right.
All right, can everyone hear me?
We got feedback. I definitely heard you, but
Is there still feedback? Feedback?
yep, still feedback.
Still feedback?
Perfect.
Okay, great. All right. So again, first off, my apologies, everyone, for the technical difficulties, but we'll go ahead and get right into the presentation, as we definitely don't want to take up too much everyone's evening. Well, first off, thanks, Credit King Steve, and all the other presenters here for the Wealth Connect. This is an amazing event. As you know, Credit King Steve, I've been really excited about participating in this once you brought this up as a concept. And what I'm going to do is give a presentation on where I'll be providing assistance within the collective, which is in the world of real estate with regards to real estate funding. And we're going to talk about one of my companies, B Financial, and what we do with regards to real estate funding. So we'll go and get right into the slideshow for you. A little bit about us, well, about myself. My name, of course, for those of you who don't know who I am Travis Cole. I founded B Financial Inc. in 2016. I have over 19 years of mortgage industry experience. Got started way back in 2004. I'm also federally licensed. So not only do I have the experience, but I have the actual federal backing and authority. So you can trust whatever consultation and advice that we provide you with regards to your mortgage lending journey. We do have a national broker model, which with over 150 different lenders. What that means for you is that everybody's situation is a little bit different. There are no cookie cutter people. Everybody has something else, something unique to their situation. And so having over 150 different lenders means that we will have a stronger likelihood of finding and pairing you with that lending institution that meets your specific financial needs. And last and certainly not least, we are a veteran-operated business, which I am the veteran. I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran, so just wanted to call those things out. Okay, so before we get into mortgage lending, real estate lending, or funding, I think it's prudent that we talk about the first aspect before you can even get to a loan. And of course, this is why myself and Credit King Steve are partnered, because this is his area of expertise, which is credit. And specifically, I wanted to talk about the 5 C's of credit, because when it comes to mortgage lending or financial lending, the approach that we take with B Financial Link when we're providing you with consultation is that we're speaking to you from the experience of having worked with actual underwriters for these financial institutions. And for those of you who don't know what an underwriter is, the underwriter is basically a risk assessor. But really what they are, they're the protector of that financial institution's money. Because anytime they lend out money, to you or myself or anyone else for whether it's a loan to buy a home, a loan to buy a car, any type of financial product, there's risk involved with that for that lender that borrower may or may not repay. Now know that your interest rate that they're charging you, that you're paying for getting that, borrowing that money from them, that's their rate of return. And so, if you've ever wondered how does a lending institution come up with a decision to give you, an approval, inside of the industry that's known as the 5 C's of credit. And this first one I like to start with, because most folks, when I tell them this, it kind of hits them like a ton of bricks. It gives them a different way of thinking about their credit profile. But the first C is called character. And that's where, the technical definition, that is a summary of your credit history and how financial reliable you are, pretty much your credit report. A lot of these different factors, they're going to be pulling this information from your credit report. But the reason why I like to stick on character, understand this. Again, the representation that is your credit report, that's their first idea as to who you are, okay? Who and what your character may or may not be. That's why it's so very important that not only do you have a strong credit score, but you work with an individual like Credit King Steve to make for certain that the whole entirety of your profile is as optimal as it can be, that there's no inaccurate information, or that your utilization on your revolving cards isn't too high. So there's so many different factors that go into play, but do understand that your character is tied to your credit. So poor credit is assumed to be of poor character, which is why you may or may not, but most likely you won't get approved. High credit scores are equated to be high character. Most oftentimes you're going to get approved for whatever that product that you are going to a lender for. The second is your capacity, and that's just simply the likelihood that you're able to successfully to repay the loan. Now, again, your capacity is something that an underwriter is going to be able to look at on the credit report, and that's going to be tied to your credit history, your repayment history. So again, you have your accounts with these creditors, but underwriters do literally go in and look at your payment history, usually for 12 or 24 months, depending upon the product. So that's why if you have late payments there, again, I'll reference back to Credit King Steve. It's important to get with a professional like a Credit King Steve, because a mortgage, a late payment on one of your open accounts can hurt you as much as a charge-off. because again, it's showing them that, hey, you ran into an issue where there was financial instability. And mind you, this is the money that they're lending to you is their investment. They want to make for certain that they're going to get their investment back. So again, capacity is just the likelihood that you better repay the loan. The next C is capital. And that's quite simple. It's the assets that you've personally invested in the company, meaning the lending institution. And oftentimes that's in the form of a down payment. So like if you're buying a car or if you're purchasing a house, that money that you have that you pay for the down payment, that is the lender's way of getting some advance return. And that's also your, what we call skin in the game. Okay. And so usually the more skin that you're willing to put in the game, the better terms that you usually get on the monies that you're looking to borrow from a lender. The next C is collateral. Now, collateral is just simply the assets that you can provide to a lender as an additional form of security should you not be able to repay the loan. So like, again, collateral could be like an automobile that's owned free and clear, or other real estate properties or securities, cash value on life insurance products, those types of things. So again, when we get into collateral, those are ways with which, when you're talking about wealthy folks, they very rarely, put money down. A lot of them have such a large amount of assets that they've accumulated in their overall portfolio that they can leverage those as collateral to get approved for new lines of credit. And then last, and certainly not least, are the conditions. Now, it says that it's the purpose of the loan, but pretty much the overall industry health and loan specifics like interest rate and loan amount. What that really means is that the conditions as what's going on in the market at that time will also affect, your ability to be approved for credit and what those terms might be. Because like, again, in a market like today, it doesn't matter if you have 850 credit score. The interest rates are just higher overall for everyone because the Federal Reserve has the interest rate set high as they're looking to try to continue to get a hold of and cause some reversing of inflation. So it doesn't matter where your scores are, you're going to have higher credit. Now, again, yes, there is the ability for you to get better than the prime rate or the best market rate, but you're still significantly higher no matter where your credit score is today than we were, let's say, during COVID when interest rates were down in the 2s and the 3s. So do know that, because a lot of times I'll have borrowers that have really, really strong credit scores. They're like, and they come back with the rate, especially in today's market, like, oh my God, that rate is so high. I need something else different. It's all right. It's just what the conditions of the market is right now. So do understand there are a lot of different factors that go into play. But do know that with regards to market conditions, they always change. So if you get a loan product and you don't like the interest rate at that particular point in time, well, just give it some time. When conditions change and rates go back down, you go back into the marketplace and then you just request a more market rates-based, rate or term. Now we can get into, the actual loan products. And so when I was thinking about putting together this presentation for the purposes of the Wealth Connect, I know that Credit King Steve stated that we wanted to lean in on the educational aspect first. And so I'm going to go into the different types of mortgage loan products, from traditional to what's known as non-QM or non-qualified mortgages. And we're going to talk about some of the different loan types, who they're designed for, and just what they and how they work. So first, traditional, that's pretty much what everybody knows. Traditional and conventional programs, they've got a typical set of required documents for the borrower to be qualified. So pretty much like in that, as you can see on the screen, those are your VA loans, which are, of course, for veterans. The benefit for those is that veteran can have 0% down. We have the FHA home loan, which is designed for max, availability and affordability for home ownership for Americans, especially for first-time home buyers that has the low 3.5% down payment. We have the USDA, which is for purchasing property, farmland or rural land. And one of the benefits for that is also it has the ability for 100% financing, which is 0% down. But again, the area has to be, certified as a rural area or a farm area. And then we have the conventional loan products, whereas these are not good. Now, those first things that I talked about, they're all similar in that they are what's known as government backed, which means that if the borrower, which means that if a lender provides the loan for any of those three programs, if that borrower should default, meaning that they are unable to pay that mortgage, then that lender will be compensated by the federal government, hence the backing of the loan. Now, the last one on there, which is conventional, these are not backed by the government. These are backed, if you will, or offered exclusively by the lenders. These are products of that particular mortgage lender. However, their guidelines kind of mirror the government, the guidelines and some of the different government programs. But again, because the bank offers them, they have a little bit more flexibility with the guidelines and just who they can allow to be approved for those programs. But those government ones, they have very clear, defined guidelines. Either you are inside of that or you're out. But again, those are your traditional products, which most everyone here has become, has or will become familiar with, especially if you're a first time or looking to become a first time homeowner for your owner occupied. Now, with traditional loans, so those were, I guess I could say, these are the loan products or loan programs. So there are loan types which are typical, for those types of programs, and some of those common home loans include conventional loans, of course, jumbo loans, and jumbo just means loans that exceed the federal limit for that particular state or county. There are government-backed loans, of course, but mainly what most folks see and are familiar with are fixed and adjustable rate mortgages, hence the diagram there. And so I like putting this diagram up because for a picture, it just shows exactly what the difference between an adjustable rate and a fixed is. The adjustable is on the left, so you see that there's different points, which means that the rate can go up and go down, which means that there can be different variations in payment. But the 30-year fix, it's just flat and it remains steady all the way through. Now, so we finished the traditional products. Again, those are the products that we all know for the most part. But now these are what are known as non-QM, and the QM stands for qualified mortgage. And so these are mortgage programs that allow you to qualify based on alternative methods. And the benefit is that they greatly expand the borrower pool. Because remember, as I stated earlier on in the slide, in the presentation, that everybody's situation is different. So what happens to all of the people who don't fit in the narrow box of the traditional and those conventional loan programs? Where do they go for funding? Where do they go to get lending, especially on the mortgage piece? These products here, non-QM, are those alternative products that can take into consideration. And if you see, some of those programs are, the first one that you see there are bank statement loan programs. And again, literally that's what it means. That means that all the borrower would provide is just 12 to 24 months of their bank statements. And then the underwriter would just use that as a source of proving income. Okay. So now the next one is says 1099. That's simply all it is. It means that instead of a bank statement, the underwriter would just require a 1099 from that individual. And that's all that would be used to prove their income. And again, these are good for folks that are now working in the gig or contractor economy, which we know has grown significantly. It was growing significantly before, COVID, but since COVID, and as we, are changing how we work in America, and most folks are either taking gig jobs as their primary or for secondary income. Again, there is a way for those individuals to still get approved for mortgage lending, and that's that product, the 1099 only loan. The next on the list is asset-based mortgage lending products. And again, it's based off of collateral. And we talked about collateral in a couple of slides before. But again, as you can see on the slide, there's, if we're talking about a business owner, that could be accounts receivable. It can be inventory. It could be real estate that's owned. It could also be machinery and equipment. So again, Asset-based lending means that the lender will, or the underwriter will take the value of that particular asset, and they will put it in a I guess you can say a formula that will give a monthly amount that it is worth. Now, again, it will not require the borrower to liquidate that asset. It just says that, okay, well, this is what it's worth. And if we broke it down over whatever to how many terms of the loan, this is what will be going towards the repayment of the loan. So it helps the individuals who may, because what you'll find as, especially for those of you who decide to transition into business ownership, early on in the growth of the business does not have a lot of cash reserves, because you're out buying and making investments in that business. So you have a lot of things associated with your business. Again, collateral in the form of equipment and et cetera, but you may not have huge sums of actual liquid cash, because it's all tied up, if you will, in investments in those different things. So again, there are lending products out there where you can get credit for those, for that collateral that you have, so that you can still be approved for lending products. And it's not only limited to mortgage lending products, but also just for business funding as well. And now the last, and certainly not the least, and in my opinion, the most consequential mortgage. So that means that the investor or the individual who's taking out this loan, they don't have to provide any financial documentation. There's no no bank statements, no tax returns, no CPA letters, no W-2s, nothing like that. All you need is just a lease. It could be an enforced lease, or it could be a lease based upon what the property is anticipated to earn. So again, how that helps is like folks that do Airbnb. Again, if they want to get loans to purchase more Airbnb properties, then again, Roddy will know about this, but there's a common one inside of the industry that mortgage companies use is called AirDNA, and that's where they just put the address in and it'll tell them what that property should average per month if it's on Airbnb. And again, the DSCR program will allow for that data and information to be used as potential income that is suspected that the property will earn. So again, those are the non-QM loan programs. Now, some of the common loan types that you'll see paired with those loan programs. First, and my absolute favorite mortgage loan type is the interest-only loan. The benefit of the interest-only loan is that it allows for the lowest payment possible, because again, you're only paying for the interest or the cost for renting the money. Now, if you are a real estate investor, of course, you're trying to limit your liabilities per month so you can maximize your net profit. So one of the big keys that go into what you're clearing per month on that investment is how much you're paying for the debt. So again, interest only is going to allow the investor to pay the lowest monthly payment. Now, again, yes, you hear from folks that say, well, but Travis, if I'm paying just interest only, that means that I'm not paying down the principal balance. And I tell the clients, you're absolutely right. However, I give them this extra bit of information. No one is saying that you can't put extra towards the principal should you want to. Okay. So what it does is it provides that investor the greatest flexibility on a month-to-month basis with regards to their monthly cash flow. And the times where things are lean, then you can just pay that interest only payment and keep moving down the road. But then when things are better in your business and then you have more cash reserves, you can send in extra payments as you please. The next one are ARMs, or as we know as adjustable rate mortgages. These are also great when the investor understands them and the professionals offering them have given them a clear picture of how they work, to me, they are also an optimal wealth building tool. ARMs, the biggest benefit is that they provide payment flexibility, because most of them are going to have 4 different payments. There's usually like a 30-year fixed payment, and some of them will have a 15-year fixed payment, an interest only payment, and then one which will be a super duper low payment, which is called like a minimum payment or a start rate payment, which is usually really, really low. But again, that just provides additional flexibility to that investor based upon their monthly cash flows. And usually ARMs perform better than your fixed products, because for an ARM to adjust to the max of what it says when you're getting it, like those things that scare people away from ARMs, that means we have to be in like some sort of economic calamity, and everybody's going to be doing that at that time. So for the most part, ARMs perform well because, again, they allow you to just pay for the money for shorter periods of time. Whereas, again, when you're doing 30-year fix, you're overpaying for that, because, again, most folks are going to refinance every 3 to 5 years, but you're paying the lender for 30 years of guarantee. So over time, you definitely pay more. You pay less interest with an ARM. And the last loan type that you'll see with non-QM loans is called a balloon loan. And what a balloon loan is, some of the benefits of a balloon loan is that it will allow for low or no monthly payments at all. So a balloon loan is a loan. Let's say if an investor wants to buy a property that may need some rehab or renovations, et cetera, and let's say that they want to take out a loan for $200,000. That's what they'll need to do those renovations. Well, there are lenders that will allow them to do a balloon loan where they'll give them that $200,000, and then they'll say, okay, look, you've got 18 or 12 or 18 or 28, 12 or 18 or 24 months. We need all our money back at that time. So the thing about balloon loans is, while yes, you might have the low or no monthly payment, your term is going to be much lower and much shorter than any other loan product type. So you better make for certain that you know that at the end of that term, whatever work or whatever value adds that you would be doing to that property is going to be realized, so that you can either A, sell it and then pay that off and then keep the rest, or B, refinance it and then pay off the balloon loan and then just keep forward with your permanent financing on that investment property. Now, we talked about a lot of loan products here. We didn't really get into strategy, because what I wanted to encourage folks to do, as Credit King Steve stated and the others have stated, is that we want to encourage you guys to come back for more. Now, again, once we get into strategy, you guys just saw the vehicles with regards to being able to buy a property, whether that's as a first-time homeowner, or if you want to be an investor, or whatever the case may be. But do know that the strategy of how you most effectively utilize those products is going to be something that we would provide to you here at B Financial Link with our 19 years of experience, and again, access to over 150 different lending partners. And there on this slide, you guys can see our contact information. The website is there, www.bfinanciallink.com. If you'd like to email us or have any questions, you can send that to team@bfinanciallink.com. We're located here in sunny Los Angeles, California, but it's not today. It's raining, thankfully. But also that QR code that you see there, that is for the special Wealth Connect consultation. And that's going to allow you to have 50% off of our standard consultation fee. So again, do take advantage of that. This is a part of the benefit of being a part of this Wealth Connect community. And again, Credit King Steve, I thank you so much for allowing me to participate. And that'll be the end of my presentation.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you, Travis. It has been a good night, good presentation. We talked about a few different topics, whether it's the credit, whether it's taxes, real estate, business credit, and we will be back again to talk about even more information and more topics, especially when it comes to financial literacy. So make sure that you tap in with us. Make sure that if you heard anything or anyone and you need their service, that you contact us. If you need taxes filed, contact Tax Lady Tammy. If you need anything for your social media pages. Maybe you need a logo. Maybe you need someone to run the page. You don't want to run it yourself. Make sure that you contact Tamika. If you need business credit or if you need to look into Airbnb, make sure that you tap in with Rodney. He is amazing when it comes to that, and he has Airbnbs in different states, cities, and states. And of course, if you need anything when it comes to credit, make sure that you contact me, Credit King Steve at creditkingsteve.com. And if you mention that you seen or saw this video or this webinar, there is a 50% off for consultation. My consultations will be 50% off. You have to mention that you watched the webinar. That way we can uh, make sure that you get that discount. Now, somebody mentioned in the chat, Tammy, how do we get in contact with you? If you're available or if you can, make sure that you drop your information in the chat, Tammy. So make sure to drop your information in the chat, how to get in contact with you. That way, the good people can get in contact with you. Also, I'm going to drop my electronic business card in the chat. Let's see. Also, too, if you see any services that you need, you see that you're looking for a home, or maybe you're looking to purchase commercial property, we have the person here for you. Make sure you tap in with Travis Cole. Maybe you're looking to get a cash out refinance, a HELOC. Make sure you get in contact with Travis Cole. There it is. Tam just dropped her information in the chat. And um, any other questions? Any other concerns? This has been an awesome night. And so, once again, thank you for checking us out. And if you want to get included in the membership, so you can have exclusive access to everybody that you heard tonight, is for $97 a month. And that's going to be for the first 50 people. Coming up in the future, we will be talking about holding companies, putting your business in a holding company. We will be talking about trust in the future. We will be talking about different type of tax forms in the future. We're going to be talking about what's the difference between advertising and marketing. A lot of people mention advertising and marketing, but advertising and marketing are two different things. They sound the same. They sound like they're together, but they are two totally different things. So we want to make sure that you have access to everything that you need. There's not many times that, or not many chances that you'll be able to get everybody like this in one place. Most of the times you have to go seek um, the services that we're offering in different places. Maybe you have to go, get with this person, then you have to go get with this next person. And so that's the reason that we are here. That way we can help you to minimize looking for everything that you need in different places. Why look for everything that you need in different places when you can get it here in one place? And so, and especially if you're a business owner. If you are a business owner, there is something that we mentioned that you're going to need. You're going to need marketing. If you're building business credit, you're going to need to be found. And so we want to make sure that you don't have to go and deal with all these new people that are coming out here, the scammers and other people that may be here fly by night. These are individuals that we've had relationships and have relationships for years, months, month in, month out. Everybody that you see in this screen or in these screens or in this video, I have partnership with and I do business with as well. And so Tamika runs and helps me with my logos. She helps me with flyers, banners. I was in Atlanta, Georgia, partnership with Ron DeVoe, and did a business workshop. Tamika made sure that my flyers and banners were ready to rock and roll. I didn't even know that I needed banners because the person didn't tell me. They just told me to show up. But we were able to have that information ready, available. Maybe you're looking to pull some equity out of the home. There's not many people that have access to 150 lenders. So we definitely want you to tap in with Travis. We definitely want you to tap in with Rodney. If you're thinking about Airbnb, maybe you're thinking about Turo. And, with Veterans Day just passing, I want to make sure that we honor our vets. So thank you for our vets for service. I don't think that there should be one day that you honor your vets. I think that that should be something that's done daily because those are the people that are putting their life on the line. That way we can do the things that we do. So shout out to Travis, Rodney, and Tamika for your service. And if there are no other questions, you all have a great night. And we're going to go ahead and wrap things up and make sure to get in contact with us. Tamika, drop your info in the chat if you don't mind. Someone is looking for your information. Make sure to drop that in the chat. All right, Tamika, if you're available, drop your information in the chat. If there's no other questions, this has been a once again, this is the Wealth Connect signing off, and we'll definitely do this again in a couple of weeks. Make sure to contact us. Make sure if anything that you enjoyed, that you comment, share. The replays will be on Credit King Steve Facebook page, as well as it will be on the YouTube page as well. You all have a great night, and thank you for getting in contact with us. Thank you for watching us. Hopefully, some information resonated with you. You all have a great night. Thank you.